4 years. The first 20, of course, it's Spokane Falls chorus, was my chorus. Those that have been around, that's familiar to you. So I sang lead for 20 years and bass for the last 15, and anyway, that's a little history of me. And another piece to me is that I'm a retired speech and language pathologist. So I do have kind of a warped sense of vocal production. I really do, it's vocational, and I'm owning it now. And I have something that I want to share with you. So first of all, I wanted to see, do we have any pitch pipe blowers or players here in the classroom? Either quartet or chorus. So please stand up. Okay, before we say we love you so much, I wanted to talk to each one of you and just say, thank you very much. I think you are our unsung heroes. Totally. Yes. You know, you are, remain standing for just a moment. You collaborate with our director, you know the plan of the quartet. There's a lot of unwritten things that you do by your job to make us better singers. And I just really, really greatly, we appreciate you because we don't want to do that, right? And you've taken it for the team and you're prepared and that's what you do. So we thank you very much. So the concept that I'd like to share with you was taught to me by my voice teacher, Deborah Lynn. Now she comes from the world of bel canto. That's an Italian form of singing. There's a concept there that I think directly applies to us. So why did we what's with the pitch? What's with the title of the program? Because I think that we could do a better job as a role of singers on the ensemble while the pitch is being played. We have things to do. So I think this concept is going to help us start more synchronized. That's my thing. That's our goal. And so, how does that happen? So let's try this. I wanted to add a little piece to that with Deborah's technique, is the nasal breath prep. So breath prep is her title of the concept, and I'm adding the nasal breath, which she shared with me also. So I think in a synchronization of that, we are going to be a unit before we even make the first sound. That's my goal. That's our time that we're going to do, all right? So how do we do that? Let's try. So let's gently exhale together. And then inhale through your nose, mouths closed. Doesn't that feel great? And then exhale, release. Great. So my first question to you, a thinking question, why do we start with exhalation? Because we want to start with it at the bottom of our lower volume supply in our lungs if we all start at the same spot, and then when we start building up, getting our intake of air, we're synchronized there, and then we're going to be synchronized with our bodies to produce phonation, which is the sound from the vocal cords. So that's where our synchronization is starting, and notice we haven't even sung yet. So that's, I'm so excited about that. Okay. So where does the pathway go? It's not a big mystery. I have a little scan over here. Mouth is closed. And I brought a laser. I don't know if it's going to work this far away. Let's try it. It does. Okay, good. So the mouth is closed, and so the air goes in through the nose to the back of the throat. There's the velum. There's the back of your soft palate. The air is going down. Here's the pharyngeal region. Here through the vocal cords, into the trachea, into your lungs. So that's what the inhalation is doing, right? That's what we're doing. Okay. So at this point, let's divide the classroom in two halves. So maybe the half tells you about where you are if you raise your hand. So maybe that side is going to be group A, and this side will be group B. So if you can kind of sit, scoot, and face each other, just really briefly, we can do this. You can choose Josie. You can choose whatever you want. It's your choice. Okay, so group B, you are the observers, and group A, you are the doers. Okay? So we're just going to go through one nasal breath prep, and we're going to watch here on this side. All right, so group A, start with me, so exhale gently. Inhale, mouth closed through your nose. your nose, close now. Okay, all right, and release. Okay, we're going to face forward. So this time I want you to really think about what you can notice. So what is the nasal breath doing? So I want you to pay attention to your shoulders, your chest, your ribs, your back. Thank you, Shelley, for bringing that up, back. So we're going to be paying attention and noticing in our own bodies what you're sensing. All right? So we're going to start with that exhalation. So exhale gently. Inhale through your nose. And exhale. Good. I hope that you notice that you become more aligned. Shall I use that term, aligned? I like to think of it as alignment rather than stand straight, sit straight. To me, the term straight, as a speech pathologist, has a connotation of stiff and rigid. To me, the term straight, wash it away. We're going to be aligned and ready for proper singing, okay? So hopefully you felt that the nasal breath put us in more alignment. And keeping aware of that air path through your nose. Here's a really exciting case. I get you on the page. So here's the exciting part. Do you know that you can take a nasal breath with your mouth open? You can do it. So let's just open our mouths right now and breathe through your nose. Not a big deal. Just breathe in and out through your nose. It's possible, right? How does that happen? Isn't that strange? So what's happening is the back of your tongue is coming up and articulating to the velum or the soft palate, that uvula, that long hanging down thing. Because when the tongue, the back of the tongue goes up and touches there, it's blocking the pathway from the oral cavity. So if your only intake is through your nose. That's why that works. Did you know that you have control of your tongue with that there? That's a cool thing, right? Am I alone on this? Maybe so. Okay, that's my job. All right. So next, so why do we have open mouths? Why is that so important? There are a couple reasons for that. Number one is, go ahead and go to the next slide. Okay, welcome to my world. This is not gross to me. It shows the tongue is on the bottom of the mouth, the bottom of the oral cavity. That's a cool thing because it gets it out of the way of resonating in your throat, your frontal region. We want everything open and away to get that valve tunnel. I mean, everything starts right here in the back, so your tongue is not going to compete with that space. It's allowing you resonating space even in the back of your throat. So also, most of the pitches that we take as a chorus and as a quartet is a consonant vowel blend. It's a weird thing. So most of it are done like D-A or D-U-H or T, ni. Most of them have a consonant and then a vowel right after that. So if we start with our tongues on the bottom and then the director cues us, or we've got the blend of the quartet, right? Then that first consonant is going to be synchronized because we're starting at the same spot. If our tongues are all on the bottom, the tip of your tongue should be touching the back, the bottom of your bottom teeth. Okay? Ideally. That's the open mouth position. And here's another bonus. Your visual choreography team is going to love you. Right? Because you can do all this expressive, eyes, sure we want the eyes to be expressive, but when our mouths are open and we are breathing through our nose the whole time, getting ready to sing, that's where the nasal breath prep, we're doing alignment, and you're more visually expressive to show the character of the song that's the plan. It's starting right there, and we're not getting in the way, we're not compromising that vocal tract, because we as singers are thinking, okay, my target vowel for the first sound is, maybe it's an E. We're thinking that, but our body is not showing that, we're showing the character. Okay? Right? It's fun. Okay. Okay, and lastly, so when does this work? So I want to really stress this. So the nasal breath prep is really used for the beginning of the song to take the pitch, okay? Not during the middle of the song, because really there's enough time, right? There's not enough time. So I don't want to let folks think that, okay, well, I'm really paying attention to my air track. Don't get that habit. It's really only for the beginning of the song to take the pitch, or to produce the word, because sometimes we don't take a pitch in some songs, right? Yeah. So, but here's an exception. Do we have any newbies here in the classroom? Yay! First addition! Woo! Great. barbershop in Yellowstone are more really stylish, artistic things that we get to do. One is called a pregnant pause. So in my opinion, so pregnant pause is you're singing a phrase, the sound stops, there's a big gap of nothingness for a reason, and then we come back in together, synchronized. That's kind of a pothole, that's a risky spot in the middle of the song to be synchronized as an ensemble with that gap, but we can apply the nasal breath prep just like we did to start the song. While you're during that pause, you're thinking, okay, air pathway, my tongue's down here, I'm smiling, or whatever the plan is. That's what you're thinking, so that when the director gives us a cue to bring us back in, we've got that synchronization plan for him or her, right? That's what we do. So in my opinion, that's the exception. Otherwise, only in the beginning. Okay? All right. So go ahead. So when does this happen? So here's a little schematic here. So the director will give us a cue, or you're working in the quartet, right? Playing the quartet. So the cue is for the pitch pipers to start the sound. In my opinion, this is for us to start exhalation. That's when it's going to work. So during the time the pitch pipe, we are joining that pitch piper head job. And this person is not just playing by themselves, right? I mean, we are there with them all together. So in my opinion, the singers, we've got the character, you start your breath cut, that exhalation, inhale, now stay open. Here's the challenge. When the director cuts off the pitch pipers, that is not a cue for us to close our mouths. It's kind of a hard habit to break. So why is that? Because we are focused on that target vowel, shape in the mouth, the tongue's on the bottom. We are getting ready to produce that synchronized, incredible first sound together. I'm not going to compromise what I set up during the nasal breath because I'm following the director. It's not to close my mouth. That's the challenge, right? So, okay, go ahead, next slide. Okay, here's the question. Can you take a nasal breath prep while you're snorkeling in the Bahamas? Okay, so it's really cool. I hear some responses by those tactile kinesthetic folks that learn best by doing. You know, you're thinking, oh no, that's impossible. I can't do this. These don't synchronize. I don't know what you're saying. Our visual people are looking at that, visualizing the air pathway probably. I'm very, very visual. Probably. Trying to make sense of it. And our auditory learners are remembering what I said earlier and trying to apply that over there. Well, I'm not going to tell you the answer to that. You're going to see that question later on. Okay? So thank you very much. That's my presentation. And now we're going to learn from Drew, and let's see if we can transfer relaxed body and that checklist that Shelley has given us. We're going to think about our vocal tract and our shape and be synchronized before we even make sound. And Drew's going to teach us a whole lot more.